Dabblers, grab your Dunkin' because blah, blah, blah runs on Dunkin'.
Give me a sec.
ASMR. This is an ASMR channel now.
We just all coincidentally have Dunkin' Donuts, but you guys should grab a fun little bevy and sit down and listen to our new episode, which starts right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
Welcome back to another episode of Blah, Blah, Blah with Zulema,
Cicely,
and Genevieve.
we are so excited to be here talking to you guys.
We had a very exciting day yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we went to, well, basically my homeland.
Yeah, literally.
Ikea. I got to reunite with my people and my heritage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The meatballs were not hitting the same.
No, something at IKEA literally fell off.
Yeah.
Is there like beef or is there a rift between Sweden and IKEA? Like what's going on?
Have you guys seen those TikToks where it's like all these brands that you used to love and then they like get bought out by people? Have you seen this? Like this girl posted
that would
like
make sense.
all of these like brands. I think it's like, you know, Emmy's cookies or like Rayo's or whatever. Then they'll tell you like whether they got bought and they're not like a small family company anymore. And then that's like why the quality goes down. I'm not saying it's those brands specifically.
Are you saying it's IKEA?
I don't want to like spread any like false news, but they'll do that and then you'll realize like, oh wait, that sauce used to taste so much better. Yeah, why is it not hitting the same? I think like
they're like
Hue chocolate
diluting.
got bought out.
Well, because Hue Chocolate, when I was in college at the new school, they used to have a Hue Chocolate kitchen across the street. And I would
remember.
always eat there. And it was
Yeah.
delicious. It was so, like, the ingredients, it was so good.
Yeah.
And they closed it down. Maybe they closed it down the same time they potentially got bought out by
like,
someone.
Cannot confirm or deny, but I do feel like I've noticed that happening. And then now I'm feeling like IKEA,
Such
did they get
an
like...
interesting theory.
No, they must have.
I
Or
don't
COVID
know.
must have changed something because, well, the whole thing was a little weird. Well, everything was under construction.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what was happening there. But
that
we
was
also...
Did you guys also hear,
What?
sorry to interrupt, but like they were having their like team meeting will be held in the, do you guys see that, hear that
It
around?
was very odd. There was no food in the food market.
Felt
So
apocalyptic.
weird. I literally am like so on my Scandinavian breakfast grind.
Yeah.
Wait, so
My
what have
little
you been
crisp-
making?
I've been making little crisp bread and then put butter on it.
Are you like Nara Smith? You're like making the bread from
I'm
scratch?
making it from scratch. I have like my grains in my garden. No, she's so iconic. I really like, I aspire.
me too.
Me too.
I hate her and I love her and I know it's just
Yeah.
pure jealousy.
Yeah.
So like that's where the hatred's coming from. And I put a little like salted butter, really good like European butter on the crisp bread.
Yes.
And then what else? Oh, I'll do 2 like soft boiled eggs.
Yum.
Oh, and then I bought like a hard cheese and I've
Yeah.
been putting that on top of the crisp bread and it's so divine. Also, I've been putting you could put a little avocado on the crisp bread. That's good too.
What
But
is crisp bread?
it's like almost like a cracker,
Okay.
but it's how would you describe it? It's what
It's
they
like
eat in
I think we've
Scandinavia.
bought them before. It's like a rectangle almost.
Yeah.
And it almost looks like a big cracker.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it has like little holes in it or like little like divots basically. And so when you put butter on or any kind of sauce, it kind of goes into the divots, which is really
Yeah.
nice.
I'm
But
intrigued.
it's less crackery than a cracker. I don't know how to describe it, but
Yeah.
we should try it. It's really
Okay.
good.
Send me a picture tomorrow morning when you make
But
it.
you wanted to find your Swedish cheese, right?
That was my goal. I really wanted to get Swedish cheese I was like at IKEA, they used to sell it. And now they don't sell it anymore. Their
They
section's
didn't even
empty.
have like my favorite candy, which is dime.
It literally felt like an apocalypse in there.
Yeah.
It felt like things were
There was
weird.
like
did.
one frozen bag of meatballs, literally.
like,
and
it
then
was
she was
eerie.
like, I should buy it. And I was like thinking about it too. And I was like, why is that one left? Like it was very
Also, we went to like
Zombie-like.
the food hall, and I'm sorry, like maybe it was just my veggie meatballs, but it
No.
wasn't
No.
hitting the way that it used to.
It was not. I mean, talk about the lingonberry soda. It was not as strong as
No.
And I'm like, maybe we caught him on an off day, but like I told you girls, the
Something's
passion was just not there behind the counter.
No, he was in a really bad mood. And you know what
yeah.
they say? Like when someone's in a really bad mood and
cooking.
they make you food, like that emotion goes into the food you're
Yes.
eting. So
I tasted that, yeah.
I just like
tasting
I
a
wanted
little bit
to
of,
like
like-
give him a hug, and then that food would have gone like up, like the spices, the seasoning. The
I was
love.
tasting
Yeah.
like disdain.
Yeah.
I was tasting
was the
like
flavor profile?
I want.
I was
to
tasting
leave.
depression and like I don't know.
Did I finish my plate Absolutely.
Oh, I still finished it.
It was enough. Yeah, it was good enough for me to finish it, but also I wanted one chicken nugget, and he wouldn't give me one chicken nugget.
That was mean. Like, you said it in such a nice way.
That was
like, could
so
I possibly just
savage.
have one?
I was like, could I just have one chicken nugget, please?
Because you know when you just need one, it's just like satisfying.
I just want one. I don't want a whole plate of. We
already had a whole meatball plate. Yeah.
Also, not to mention, like, they put the fucking calories on the menu, and it's like 2,500 calories for like chicken and fries. I'm like, don't do that to me today. Like,
it was half off on Friday though.
Yes,
that was
my whole
so
meal was
funny.
like $3. That was crazy.
Yeah, we got like 2 drinks. Also, the coffee was out.
Yeah,
they ran out of coffee.
You can't do that. And there was 2 gigantic vats. Like, what? How are they out?
It was like everything was just like
was
not it. And it wasn't that crowded, I think, because it was Friday, which was also great. But then that added to the whole weirdness of it.
We were so excited too.
And I bought the wrong shelf.
Excited. I used to be like going to Disneyland or something.
Yeah, like it was a whole experience because you would go all the way out there. It's like kind of like a trek. Then you would get to have your little food, and not only is there food in the beginning, then when you get to the end, you get like soft serve and like that
still hit. Like there was passion behind that.
They kind of like redeemed themselves with the soft serve and it's not even soft serve. It's freaking frozen yogurt, which I love frozen yogurt, but it's in that nice little soft serve cone. That tasted the exact same as normal.
I wish I could have that right now.
But yeah, I don't know. It was like the food was not.
It was so. If you guys know what's going on with IKEA, please like slide in our DMs because we're worried about them.
Yeah,
Someone
really worried about them.
I literally was like this close to ordering this Swedish cheese that me and Zoo had when we were in Sweden over the summer from like an online store. The like it's like
you should.
You really should.
And I was like, that's really, really, really dramatic. Like, just buy some kind of European
I mean,
cheese.
it probably tastes the same as like any other cheese.
I bought one from Switzerland, which I was like, they're close enough up there, Nordic vibes.
I'm sure. You know how they like buy that tea place in the West Village? Yeah. They have that like British store that sells all like the British yummies. Maybe they have like a Swedish store that sells Swedish yummies.
Trust me, I looked it up.
Oh shit. And it was just IKEA?
It's like, okay, so there's S'more, which is a bakery, and they have like a little pantry section, and they have a little refrigerator section. Okay. So I went down there. It's completely empty. I'm like, is there import issues in Sweden? I don't know what's going on. And then there's one more place actually in the Lower East Side. Maybe we could stop there later.
Yeah.
It's called Nordic Provisions. I think.
She hits you with this. Like, you know she has a really good idea brewing.
You guys, I like truly, I did my research. This one's called Nordic Provisions, but mainly it's like smoked salmon, stuff like that. Yeah. Not really like, I'm looking for dairy.
Are there like cows just not pumping? There's sheep's not pumping out in Sweden right now?
I don't know, but it's making me wish I had brought more stuff back from
what, like a suitcase full of cheese?
She would though.
Kept in the freezer for like the dark winter days.
Cheese?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Interesting.
Wait, what? Can you? Why am I saying that? I don't actually know.
Let's spread fake news.
Yeah.
Just
also,
like
isn't cheese already like 4 hours long? Can we talk about that for a second? I went to Paris with my family this like last week or something. And I was like telling G, I was like, Zoo, I was so excited. And they were like, oh my God, the flight is so short. It's only like 4 hours. Like, it's going to be like, it's so easy. And I was like, oh, really? Like 4 hours? I get on the flight. I'm like, I don't even need a book. Like, I'm good. Like, I didn't really eat anything. So I'm like, 4 hours. I got it. It was like 9.5 hours. I don't know what flight you guys were on.
Not 9.5.
On my way back, it was 9.5. I swear.
Okay, but the way there
was 8 hours and 40 minutes.
I don't know.
I think it was like a Mandela effect or something. I don't
or
really.
The wind must have been really good that day.
It was the wind was so good that it took off like 3 hours.
Yeah. No, you guys weren't even running on gas. You were just fully.
I remember we had a red eye, and I was like, perfect. Like it's gonna be a long flight. I can sleep full 8 hours. We got on the flight, and the length of the flight was less than the amount of sleep that I wanted to get,
and less than going. I remember distinctively. It was less than going to LA, which is 6 hours. So it was definitely something like 5 something, and I don't know what happened. I have heard things about pilots having like extra, fuel or something from another flight. Sometimes they can go faster and make up time.
Where did you read this? What site are you on?
No, I just
are you part of the CIA?
I have severe flight anxiety, so I've done like so much research. Flight.
She has like a pilot on speed dial. She's like,
I literally wish I have so many questions.
I know,
and this would be one of them.
I know. So I'm more like, I don't want to know. Like the more I know, the more scared I'm gonna be.
I just really can't think about it.
I feel like the more information I have, it'll help.
I'm like,
my
tell
anxiety.
me the good things. Like, it's impossible to crash when you're up in the air, even if it's false.
You
like,
say that to me.
yes,
I love the
it's
Jell-O
true.
thing.
It
I
is
love the
Jell-O
Jell-O thing. Yeah, I love thinking about that.
I don't like the Jell-O thing.
I like it because I feel good.
But
I'm like, I'm stuck
You
in that
can't
Jell-O.
fall, like, because it's Jell-O up there, basically.
There was so much turbulence on my flight back too, and I was just like Jell-O.
Yeah.
To the point where the guy was like, the pilot was like, flight attendants, take your seats now. And I was like, my sister has such bad flight anxiety too, and she was
that's
like
the worst.
ripping onto me. Like
I always look
she,
at the
like,
flight
white-knuckled me.
attendants.
Yeah.
You guys, you know how I knew my ex-boyfriend wasn't the one?
What?
Because we were on a flight and there was severe turbulence, and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to die with him.
That is such a good test.
Kidding. I always know what mental state I'm in, because either I'm like, honestly, I could die right now. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Or like after we did our short film, I was like, wait, I have something to look forward to. Like, I don't want to die right now.
Right. Okay, but when I'm with you guys, when I'm flying with you guys,
Yeah.
or if I'm flying with my parents, I'm like, I literally would be okay
Yeah.
if I went down, because like I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
Like I know it's like pure soul connection, happiness,
Yeah.
love. Like,
Yeah. That's so
Oh,
funny.
isn't that funny though?
No, but I feel that way too.
Like, have you ever
and-
flown with somebody and you're like, oh my God, this
It's
would be
not
like,
really-
have you ever thought about that?
It's not really who
which
I'm
I'm not
with,
going to
but,
say
like-
like the time, but yes,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it later.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, when I feel like also it's like for me, it's that what you're saying too, but also just like I have such bad anxiety. But when I'm with you guys, I don't have anxiety because you make me feel calm. So
Yeah.
I think that helps me too on flights, or like
Yeah,
I'm with my
same.
family, like I feel calm because it's like it's okay, you know, like I'm not gonna get anxious because I'm with them.
Right.
So I think it's partly because I'm happy with them and like I feel content with them and you guys, but also because you guys just make me feel like not anxious. So I'm not really in that headspace. But I like
I'm just like, I don't want them to discover my body like with this person.
yeah, which
Yeah.
I get that. Yes, that's happened to
Have
me
you
before.
guys ever like written in your notes like you think you're gonna die and you like write down notes to like the
I
people
don't even
want
want to go there.
I have like I think twice.
When? Tell it.
Wait,
I was-
is there a note waiting for me?
No, I think I deleted it after because I was like embarrassed.
Wait,
I
but
was driving in like
but was there one of me?
No, this was like back in high school.
Oh, okay.
There was like a snowstorm and
You are just so like, you're like a movie zoo. Like literally.
my life is literally a movie.
Yeah.
No, I think I was driving in like a really bad snowstorm and I was like, oh, I'm gonna die in this car.
Who were you with?
I was like with my family. And I was like literally in the backseat, like writing a note.
You're
I was
kidding.
like, yeah. And then I came home and I was like, haha, that's so funny. Like,
I thought
Did you
about
write
it.
a note when we were driving to your birthday trip and upstage? She's in the back like, I love her.
No, because it's weird. Like cars like do not have the same effect on me, but planes I've thought about like, or I've been like, what do I want my last thought to be when there's really bad turbulence?
oh my God.
I'm like, what is my last
yeah.
thought gonna be? And then I just try to think like, I don't know.
You know what a trick I do on a plane to like get myself feeling better is like I play a song that I know I'm not gonna die to. I'm like, okay, if
Like
I play
what?
like the
so
Climb
funny.
Miley Cyrus, like yes, I could see myself like
Right, it's dramatic.
going down to that.
Oh,
But
that's
if
funny.
I play like Addison Rae, there's no way that I'm gonna die.
But what
to
if you went
Addison
down
Rae.
to Addison Rae? That kind of be iconic though.
I know that's where I'm like, okay, you can kind of play it both
I would die
ways.
happy.
My thing is, and this is like my OCD and my anxiety and whatever, I don't listen to music on planes of artists that have died.
Wait,
Whoa.
what?
Like I will not listen to Mac Miller on a flight.
or like anybody from
Or
like
anybody
the 60s or
yeah,
70s
who has died. It's all like current people that are alive.
and thriving.
Maybe thriving. We don't know. you
That's
don't have
really
to be.
interesting.
That's
But like
really
if I'm
interesting.
like listening to music and like somebody comes on, I'm like, oh, I know that. If I don't know that they've died or I don't know if they're alive, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like if I know they've died, I'm like,
No,
oh
Amy
my God.
Winehouse.
And then also like
yeah.
the Amy Winehouse, like there's this band called the Marias and they wrote like Lovers Rock. Do you know that song?
Yes, I know that one. Yeah.
And I think they died in a car crash or one of their band, they were in a car crash and
Oh,
one of
really?
their bandmates like died. So I will never listen to that band in the car.
Wow.
Ever. But that's
I
just
just
my
don't
anxiety.
listen
That kinda
to
makes sense.
my anxiety thing on planes is I don't like to watch anything sad or like upsetting
yeah.
or like a thriller movie.
Yeah.
I like to watch only happy
Oh,
things
I
on
was
planes.
gonna watch Society of Snow on the plane.
I
and
was
then-
so that is like
That's, like, the
next
worst
level
one.
masochism.
Yeah.
Well, I was also,
Oh
when
my
I was in
God.
Paris, I was gonna, my dad, like the night before, he's like, what should we watch? Like before we left to go back to the US. And I was like, oh, I really want to watch Society of Snow.
It's
And he
so
was
good.
like, oh yeah, I really want to see that. And I was like, oh wait, absolutely not. I'm not
No.
watching
No.
that. And my sister's like, I can't even be in the other room with you guys watching
That's
that.
like watching
no.
that, what is it called? Sully? Remember that movie with the New York City he crashes the plane in the
I
ocean.
don't remember that.
It's Tom
Yes,
Hanks.
yes. And he in the Hudson or
Yeah,
whatever.
in the Hudson.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually good. He like
Yeah, they live.
they live,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's like one of the craziest realistic plane crash movies, and that would be like the worst.
That would
thing
be
to
the
watch.
worst.
Even need to like.
I need like a rom-com
Yes.
or like a 2000s
That's when I
hit.
watch like the like reality TV shows. That
I
are
watched,
just
yeah.
mindless.
Anyone But You. Wait, is that what it's called?
I know. I always forget. Yeah, anyone
Yeah.
but you.
Like,
Me and
that's
Zoo
an
watched that
airplane movie.
Can we talk about it really quickly because
I
it's just
haven't seen
like
it. I haven't seen it yet.
there's no spoilers.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna give a spoiler. Not that like you probably know what happens.
Yeah, it's very predictable.
I don't really even know the plot.
Me and Zoo were excited because I love a bad rom-com. I love any type of that sort of genre. But it wasn't even like bad good.
No, it was just like bad. Like
Yeah.
average bad.
Like
I just like all the drama behind
Laughable.
it with like all of their spouses and whatever. I just feel like that was distracting me so much.
they had no chemistry.
They had
Yeah.
zero
FYI.
chemistry.
So that whole like thing
Oh,
that they
really?
were doing
Yeah.
with them flirting in the interviews, it did not translate.
yeah, no.
I was kind of
no.
mad they took Natasha Bedingfield's song. Like that made me a little upset.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my
That
God.
song is like they are using that song to just cushion the weight of like how bad the movie is. Like everything is on Natasha's
Natasha
shoulders.
held it up.
Yeah.
God, somebody needs to like give
They're
her a
like,
break.
this scene isn't working. Let's play Unwritten in the background.
Because it's such a good song that
Yeah.
like, yeah, you are kind of like, okay, I am kind of like forgetting like how bad this movie is and like how the plot
What
just
is the
makes no
plot?
sense.
They just like get together.
They
and
like hate each other basically, and
Classic.
they're like, it's their.
But like they hate each other just because they haven't talked about it, which is really bothersome because it could have
Yeah.
been solved so easily. But
It's
they
like
have
just have
like
a conversation.
Haven't
they
talked
have, like,
about what?
such
That they
hatred
hate
for
each other?
for each other because they had a one night stand together.
Oh.
And then like kind of had like a misunderstanding of like
Okay.
the other person.
I guess a lot of rom coms are like it's a misunderstanding, but this one was just like
it was like kind of ridiculous.
it's a little like it's such a. I mean, all of them are a stretch, but this one it
just
was
so
like,
unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, they go. This is just so funny. Like the wedding that they attend is in Australia. Why?
There's no reason for it to be
There is
enough.
zero reason why they had to film this movie in Australia, other than like I guess that's a fun trip for the actors.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
it would be such a fun movie to be in.
I
But
also-
literally,
yeah.
why?
No,
Well,
there's no
because
reason.
maybe because that spider scene, they had to have the spider scene, and it made more sense in Australia with their big
I
spiders.
don't even like remember the spider scene.
Oh.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not. Also, I'm sorry, but Sydney Sweeney was not right for the role at all.
Who do you think would have been better?
Like
Zoe
anyone.
Deutsch.
Like anyone
Someone
who
who's
like is in that like
comedic.
rom com. She's too like. She's kind of like typecast as like the teenage
Yeah.
annoying girl.
Yeah, she plays that like, I hate like my parents. Like everything's annoying like so well. Like her in
Yeah.
White Lotus, she's such a good
Perfect.
actor.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
so perfect. But yeah, it's not. She doesn't have
Someone-
the comedic thing.
Yeah, you need like good comedic timing.
Because I love. Do you remember watching that movie, The Setup, with Zoe Deutsch
Yes.
and him? And it's the
Yes.
guy in this movie.
Yeah.
That was so good because they had great chemistry. She's so funny and not like
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney looks like a model. So
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah.
she's so beautiful. But Zoe Deutsch kind of has that thing where she's like a little bit like can be awkward
Yeah.
and kind of.
Or even
It
like
needed
Jennifer
something.
Lawrence was in that other rom com. Like I feel like she's good at doing like the
Yeah,
rom
Have
com.
you
she is.
watched that? I wanted to watch that.
I did. It's also one of those that it's like
The one
It's
where
not
she
that
like is
good.
hired as like the fake girlfriend or whatever. Okay,
it's
I haven't
fine.
seen that.
I mean, it's like a rom com. It's not my favorite one.
Worse or better than this one?
Slightly better.
Oh, that's
Like
I don't want to watch either of
Oh my
these.
god,
But
it's just so exciting. You're really selling it.
No, it also has that thing where there's like Man Eater is like the song of the movie, and they keep going back to that, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
God.
it's like such a crutch.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
let
miss
me-
like. Okay, sorry.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but can I talk about
Please.
Let's talk
show
about
that I
yeah.
do really good
media.
television?
Let's talk about good content for
you
the
guys like
plane
that?
and any time.
that transition.
I really liked it. It was
Yeah.
smooth, actually.
Pamela's Garden of Eden.
Period.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, so I don't know why the show doesn't have more hype. I'm trying to like sell it to you guys. I'm slowly chipping away at just getting you guys to consume everything that I consume. I got
we
Zoo to
are.
start watching 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
You to start reading.
I watched 6 Feet Under.
Oh, and you too. And you're
only watched
reading
2
A Court of
episodes.
Thorns and Roses.
Akotar.
Literally Rise.
Literally, girls unite.
Yeah.
And now I just need you guys to watch Pamela's Garden of Eden
will.
and my life will be complete. It's on Hulu and it's a home renovation show. except it's starring Pamela Anderson, so what could be better?
Wait, when did it come out?
So good.
When did it come out?
Let me get my finger on my nose. There's 2
like
seasons.
around 2014 is like what I'm imagining.
No, it's
What?
recent.
It's
What?
recent.
It like just came out.
like now.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Oh,
my
I thought
God,
this
you
was like vintage.
No.
I thought this was like vintage, like The Hills or something vibe.
Oh my God, no.
Okay.
It's her now. She's thriving. She's like, did you watch the
yay.
documentary?
Yes.
She's like embraced
Like
who,
no
who she
makeup.
is. No makeup.
Okay, love.
She like
Yeah.
lives
Love.
on this farm in Canada, and she's just like living her best life. And she just wears no shoes, flowy white dresses.
My
and
dream.
She prances around like a little nymph.
Fairy.
I just want to be rich enough to be able to just do that. No shoes,
awesome.
flowy dresses, house
I
somewhere in the
know.
middle of nowhere, renovating it.
It's so good, and it's really inspiring. I'm just like, wow, one day I just want to have like all these acres of land. She has this beautiful
Yeah.
like rose garden in the middle, and she's vegan, so she just like eats all of her like vegetables.
Is that
in the
why you've
garden.
been going to the farmer's market?
Well, she's trying to be Pam, but she's also cool because she's still like Pamela Anderson. So she's like, I want this boathouse to be sexy and like I want a heart-shaped tub in it, but it's also shabby chic like farmhouse.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just so unique. I just am obsessed with her.
I want to watch it. So
I need to
badly.
watch it.
Please watch.
Is there drama?
There's drama because of course she's so iconic. She marries the contractor
During the renovation?
before the show starts. She has just married the contractor who's helping on the project, Dan. And apparently halfway through the show, they separate. I'm not there yet, but
my
they are
God.
having a lot of arguments right now. And she
no.
keeps being like,
And they film it?
Oh, yeah, they film it. And he's annoying. If anyone watches the show, like, you'll see. He gets on your nerves so much because, like, she has all these dreams and he's always like, no. And he'll just start, like, building something that's not what she said she wanted. And you're like,
Listen to her.
shut the fuck up. Also, you should kiss the ground she walks on.
He's
You
like
are
married
like
to Pamela
this-
Anderson.
I'm sorry. You're just like this random ass guy. And you're married to Pamela Anderson.
I know.
Like, think you're lucky stars.
Not only you're married to Pamela Anderson, but you are going to have access to this gorgeous,
Yeah.
amazing house that she is designing. Like,
That's
dream
all,
life.
like,
Yeah.
her
Dream
money
life.
that she's putting into.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, he's really annoying me. I don't know why he's upset. He's living the best life. But she keeps being like, oh, this is why relationships end. Like, home renovation.
Yeah, don't do it within the first year.
Also, it's
Yeah.
like they're working together. That's just probably a really bad
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, too much time.
But she keeps being like, oh yeah, when we're going to bed at night, all he can talk about is, what we shouldn't do with the renovation, what we should do, and it's like ruining everything. So I
Yeah.
think it's going downhill right now. So there's drama.
Oh my gosh.
And
Okay.
she has all these grand ideas, and then all the people working on the project are like trying to meet her deadlines and trying to like make her dream a reality. But
Yeah.
it's like stressful. So it's
Okay,
really good.
I'm excited.
Yeah. That's my obsession lately.
I'll put it on my list.
I really, really want to see that. I'm obsessed right now with totally unrelated, but bag charms. Charms on my bag.
I love
yeah,
a
yeah,
bag
yeah.
charm.
I'm so obsessed with. I was telling Zoo, I just like love bag charms, and I'm also really obsessed with no makeup and just lipstick.
Very French of you.
I'm very French because I was in Paris, bonjour, and I was like,
I love the way they do
everybody,
that.
They are just so gorgeous.
Does not look
Everybody
good on me,
there.
but I love it on
Yeah.
them.
But I'm just like, everybody's gorgeous. I'm like, what is it about them that like makes them like look so just like naturally, effortlessly beautiful?
Yeah.
Nobody wears makeup. They just all put so much effort into their skincare. They have
Yeah.
great skin, and then they just wear lipstick.
Yeah.
So you have great skin and lipstick.
So put
it's
together.
like that's what I'm on right
and
now.
they're eating really good butter, so they're really
Yes.
happy, and then they're
And they
glowing.
probably have
Yeah.
access to the cheese that you've been wanting, and it would probably change your life. But they're eating it daily.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking just life in Europe is happier, but
Yeah. It's true.
Should we talk about how much we hate ourselves?
yeah, that's a great segue. Yeah, so
This week
yeah.
has been an interesting week.
I think my life has been an interesting life. I don't think it's just limited to this week. I just think
Yeah.
it's been a lifelong struggle for me.
This week it was like hitting though.
Is
There
it
must
this
be
week and last
something
week?
in
Yeah.
like the astrology because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been feeling this way.
I feel like I should look it up. I
especially
should
this
have.
week. I don't know what it is. I
also,
think
guess,
something's in
like,
retrograde.
I guess wintertime, like yes, you're more like pale or you're more like
But like, I
I
think
don't
we're almost
know.
on the end of winter time. Like, it should have been past,
no,
you know?
it always hits me like beginning of March. That's like
yeah.
that's when it hits me the most.
Well,
Okay,
basically,
yeah.
I have this book on my bedside window nook. not even table. It's the Jeanette McCurdy. Happy my mom died or something.
I'm glad my mom
died. And my mom and I have issues, but I love her. But we've been in therapy for a while.
Oh my God, though. Okay, yeah.
And when we got back from Paris, my parents had to like stay for an extra night because they didn't want to go back to Maine. So they slept in my apartment. I slept at my boyfriend's, and nothing in my apartment was askew. Everything was perfect except this one book on my bedside window thing that was like, I'm happy my mom died.
I'm glad my mom died.
I'm glad my mom died.
A thorn of corns and roses.
Okay, guys, I'm not good at this stuff, but it was kind of pulled out a little bit, and I was like, oh no. She like definitely thought I was like reading something that was like wishing that she was dead or something. And then we talked about it.
You hate your mom.
Yeah, and then we talked about it, and she was like crying. She's like, I thought you hated me. Anyway, then we had this whole talk, and she thought that I hated her or whatever, but I was trying to explain to her that it was actually just a memoir. But I brought this book up with G and Zoo when we got a drink, and it just like started this whole conversation about ourselves.
Well, yeah, because I was like, had all these auditions this week, and I'm doing this acting class that's on camera. So you like watch it back with the whole group, and you're just, it's like you do your scene, and then there's a big TV facing like 12 students, and then you watch the scene back that you just did.
That's like torture.
It kind of is. And obviously you're watching it it's for a good reason, to be like, okay, what should we fix for the next, like, what did you do, you know? And you shouldn't be looking at it being like, how does my double chin look? How does my nose look? You know, that's not the freaking point. We're not at like Wilhelmina Models. It's acting.
But you should be.
But I was just like looking at all of the things. I wasn't even looking at my performance. I was like looking at all the things I hate about myself. And I was like, everyone's watching this. I'm watching this. Is that what they're seeing? Whatever. And I was just saying how unnatural it is for my job, especially how often I have to look at myself.
Yeah.
I edit all my self-tape auditions and send them in. And you used to just go into the room, do your audition, leave. And now it's like, I'm seeing how I look. I'm like, it's so hard not to critique how you look. You can say, oh, let me just try to watch this in an unbiased way.
Yeah.
But obviously, you're going to be looking and being critical to yourself. Because, like, how can you not?
Especially when they're, like, judging you kind of based off of, like, your appearance. And, like, if you look right for the role, or, like, if they're, like, judging you as I mean, obviously your acting abilities, but part of that is, like, how you present yourself.
It's a visual medium, too. So, you are, like, you know, there's certain things of, oh, you don't want a hair, like, sticking out because it's distracting from, like, what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But, you know, like, I called my mom when I was, like, feeling down about it. And she was like, you know, the best actors, it's, like, the reason they're appealing is because they're not perfect. Because you're trying to be a real person. You're not trying to be.
We were just talking about this with Sydney Sweeney and like that like movie. It's like she was like, I mean, obviously like, they're all great actors and stuff, but it's like having somebody in that role who's real, who like feels real, like that is like so appealing. Whereas like somebody who's like so perfect, like Sydney Sweeney, and like feels very like unattainable to like look like her, like maybe she wasn't right for that role. It's like there's a place for everybody, you know, and there's a place for every look, and there's a place for like if you're super gorgeous and you're like model quality, whatever, or if like you maybe could like, I don't want to say like you can't be a model, that's not what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean?
Like look more normal.
Yeah, like there's a place for every level of beauty and every level of everything.
But I also feel like there's a huge double standard with like men and women in the industry. It's like, okay, you can be an ugly guy and be a super successful actor, or be like a little bit like oversized. But for women, I feel like you have to be like skinny, and you do have to kind of be like beautiful to a certain degree.
Yeah, there is a unspoken like rule, kind of. Maybe people aren't going to say it as much as they would. I mean, not just a couple years ago, casting directors would be like, perfect, but you have to drop, you know, 5 pounds or 10 pounds per role.
Which is
like,
crazy that it hasn't even been that long.
Very common thing. Now, they're not going to say it, but like,
they're just not going to hire you.
Yeah, they're not going to hire you, and you should just know, you know.
That's why you didn't get it.
Look better. Yeah, basically. Or you know. And then you've got actors who I think most of the time are probably like such perfectionists, and you're trying to do your best, and so that can come out in like controlling the way you look, which is not good. But.
And it's also just so hard. It's like when you have an opportunity or something that you want so badly and some career or movie or whatever it is, like, and the reason why you're not getting it is because of how you look or because of something that you can hypothetically control, you know? Because then you're like, why am I not? I should go and get that plastic surgery, or I should go and drop like 15 pounds. Like, I feel like there isn't there's some, but there aren't many other career paths where it's like the reason you didn't get it is in your control. Do you know what I mean? It's like for something more corporate, yeah, you could take a course or you could like learn more, get your master's or whatever, but that's not like appearance wise. Whereas like acting, sometimes when you don't get a role and what we're saying of like not like looking the part or being 5 pounds like heavier, like that's something that's like so in your control. So then it's almost harder because you're like, I could have gotten this if I would have just sacrificed something.
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't think that like if you did a certain thing that you would get a role.
But I'm saying like
because you don't know, it's so out of your control.
But you could think that.
Yeah, I guess you could think that, but you never know what they want. So that's why it's such like I think that a lot of times that sort of like trying to control your body is because life feels so out of control. Mm-hmm. And especially in an industry like acting where it's even more out of your control than a normal industry. Because you don't know what they want at all. You don't know if they want blue eyes or brown eyes or blonde hair or whatever. You try to control it by like controlling yourself. So
I think like everyone has like ugly weeks. Like I feel like I have like whenever I'm about to get my period the week before, for some reason I just always feel ugly, like so ugly, and that's not like a bad thing. Like I know it's gonna happen like every month, but I think the difference between like me and you is like I'll just like then I just like don't focus on my appearance, or like I won't take photos of myself, or I won't maybe look in the mirror as much because I know it might upset me.
Right.
But it's like you literally can't escape it. Yeah. Whereas like I can be like, you know, I go to work. It's not about like looking at myself. It's like I'm focused on something else. But you can't like get away from that.
Yeah.
And we also like live in such an age like where we are just like looking at ourselves so often. Like we're taking photos, we're vlogging, you're doing auditions, you're taping them. It's like everything that we do. And then we're all also vlogging. So it's like I see myself in like your videos and I see myself in your videos and I see myself in my videos. And then it's just like all encompassing, like just looking at yourself.
It's not normal for humans to like look at ourselves as much.
Well, think about like mirrors.
Yeah.
That wasn't like
a thing
in the early ages of humans. You know, there wasn't like a mirror was like a luxury too, to like be able to look into a mirror. So I don't know. I think that it does alter your brain chemistry in a way to like see yourself that much. You have to like, and that's what I was grappling with this week when I was feeling this way. And I was like, you know, zooming in on myself and looking at all these things that I hated about myself was like, okay, cool. You feel that way, but like, how do you accept it? I don't know what the answer is, but like, how do you move forward? Because I do like the industry that I'm in. I like it because it makes me happy. I don't want it to like affect my mental health to the point where like I feel like this about myself a lot.
Yeah.
But like, how, you know, what are some like tools? Like, what are some active ways that like when you're feeling that way about yourself, you can like, you know,
make yourself feel better.
Yeah, make yourself feel better because it's so hard. It
just
sucks.
Did you think of anything? Like,
not really. I mean, like, kind of. Cicely said something the other night at dinner that I thought was really great, which was like, when you're a lot older, you're gonna look back and be like, oh my god, why was I hating the way I looked then? I was like, beautiful, perfect, gorgeous, you know, youthful, young.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I was kind of thinking about like, well, actually, wait, I screenshotted a thing. I was reading this book. Have you guys heard of this book called The Four Agreements?
Yeah, I have heard of that.
It's really good. It's Don Miguel Ruiz. And it's kind of like a spiritual, you know, sort of book, but I've been reading it in the morning. And he was sort of talking about like awareness and like, basically, if you think about reality and like social conditioning as like a collective dream, okay, so we all like believe a thing, right? Like we all believe that like there's this conventional body type that we should have, of how our face should look, like what beauty is. And if you just think of that as like a dream and you think about like waking up from that and being like, well, I believe something else. I believe that I am like beautiful in this shell that I'm wearing for this. If you believe in like, you know, maybe multiple lives or something. Right now, this is the avatar that I've been given. This is the shell that I've been given. It's not who I am. Like not identifying with your appearance.
Yeah.
So much. And I feel like that's a good way to try to let go.
Yeah. So it's like the dream is, it's not a dream that we all want, but it's like almost like a nightmare that we're all like in and then we have to like wake up from and like
everyone can live in hell, which
Yeah.
would be believing this collective thing that keeps us like down and keeps us sad and negative.
It's all capitalism. It's like people want us to like buy the beauty products so that like they get money, and so they market us to want to be this like beautiful image that they have. And
he calls it like black magic.
Yeah.
Like everyone has cast spells on us basically. And if you choose, which you can, it's just being like aware of it. It's just like waking up, being aware, okay, that's a dream.
Yeah.
This is, you know, that's hell. You can bring yourself into heaven by being like, no, like rejecting that.
Yeah.
Being like,
right.
Well, I don't buy into that. I don't identify with that. Yeah. This is who I am.
It's like, I totally agree with that, but it's like so hard. Also,
yeah, it's
like,
easier said than done.
When you like live in a world where like every single like turn you take is like a reminder of who you are and like how you fit in or how you don't fit in or whatever. It's like, it's just like, how do you like wake up from that nightmare? It's like, I don't know.
I think it's like a continuous thing is the other thing. It's also like, it's like totally practice because all of these things that are in our mind, these agreements that we've made are just habits, and they're habits. I'm not blaming our parents because it's not their fault, because it's the agreements that they were taught, but they grew up with a certain, you know, set of beliefs. They just passed it along to us, and then we could keep passing it along, and then the cycle continues. But if we just once in a while kind of like wake up like, oh, okay, my mom said this thing to me one time. That's not true. That's just a dream.
Yeah.
Like the reality is that this thing, it's not like who I am.
Yeah.
My face,
that's
it's just
not really
a
what
thing.
matters. Yeah.
It's not really what matters.
I think it's also hard too, like not even to mention us looking at ourselves all the time, but I think just like living in a city too is so difficult when you're like dealing with body image, because it's like, I think of like even Maine, like where we grew up, it's like people probably are still in that, and they probably still like look at themselves in the mirror and like would wish to change something, but it doesn't hold as much weight, you know. It's like it's not as important. People are like just living their lives. I feel like in smaller towns or places that aren't cities, it's like it is more about like what's in here, and it is more about like your soul and like who you are that people appreciate and like feel and look at, and it's like less about what you actually look like. Whereas in cities, it's like you just are so used to like judging people just on like what you see, and it's like harder for it to like access inside.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because it like takes longer to get in there rather than just like assess somebody from the outside. And like in a city, we're just like seeing people all the time, and like whereas a small town, you're like bonding with people, learning about people, maybe seeing people more often, like growing relationships and connections. I don't know. It's just so hard.
Do affirmations? I know like everyone says to like the way to solve this is to like give yourself affirmations and to look into the mirror and be like, I am beautiful. I am strong. But that I feel like that just feels like a joke to me. Like if I were to try to do that, I don't know. It just has never worked for me, and maybe I just haven't tried it, but I'm curious if you guys have like, what do you think about that?
There was like a time where I tried this thing, which is like so embarrassing, but like,
your woman mirror?
Well, not my woman mirror, which is right behind me though. But I was like probably a TikTok trend or something where it's like you print out a baby picture of yourself and you put it on your mirror.
I do love that.
And I did that for a while.
That TikTok trend actually makes me emotional. Like, when I see it, like I look after. Yeah. I literally am like, I start to tear up because guys, we're like, we are all like,
I think about my
girls.
sister, and I'm like, the thought of her thinking those things about herself.
I know.
That just like destroys me.
And why wouldn't you feel the same way about yourself? Like, why don't you have as much like care and compassion for your own self?
That is so true.
But that's like the one TikTok thing that I did that like, I feel like it did something. Like I printed out the picture of me with like all my clips in. I just like thought I looked so good. And I was like, just wasn't thinking about what anybody else thought. And I think it was so evident, that photo, that I just like did not give a shit about what anybody else was thinking. Because I had like makeup on and like random shit and 15,000 clips in my hair. And I like had that on my mirror for a while, but it is just like, it like wasn't enough, you know, if that makes sense. Like it kind
of got used to it.
I got used to seeing it there. And I just think the world is so hard, and these things that we're supposed to look like, or these things that we're taught, or these hard things that happen like with like body image and whatever in life, they're just too strong. Like it's such a big curse that's
what it is.
A picture
it's
of me
strong.
on my mirror is not going to solve it.
It's embedded. Like it is so deeply embedded that it's like, it's a constant.
It's constant.
It's constant. And one thing with the word of affirmation things, you know, I think it's hard to like get behind that. I think, you know, I don't know. You have to find something that works for you. Yeah. But like in this book, for example, one of his agreements that he teaches is like being impeccable with your word. And like what he kind of means by that is like how we all know, like manifestation, words have the power to do great harm or like great good, right? Like he was like talking about Hitler, not to get like too deep here, but like he was talking about Hitler, how like
I was like just having a full conversation about Hitler.
Really?
With my dad, yeah.
But like think about it, like his words were so powerful. They were able to make normal people commit atrocities.
Yeah.
Like to a degree that is like monstrous, right?
Yeah.
So if word is that powerful, like the things that we think even about ourselves, the things that if I say to you, oh my God, I feel fat today, or I look fat in that photo, or I whatever, like that is creating my reality. Yeah. So I don't know. It can get a little woo-woo. Like I feel like I tend to get a little woo-woo because I am a little woo-woo, but it's true. Like words are powerful. So
and if you start thinking stuff about yourself, like you believe it. Like you start believing it. So that I try not to like think negative things about myself, or like I try to like say positive things or like think positive things, because I think then I start to believe it.
Yeah. For me, it's like I'm good for like a couple of weeks
until I'm not.
Until I'm just not. Like something happened. Like I'm not strong enough to
I'll put on an outfit and I'll be like, my arms look terrible in that.
I'll put on jeans that like used to fit me and just don't button, and I'm like, okay, so we're done with that. Like
so we're gonna go crawl out.
Yeah, we're gonna go hate ourselves for a little bit. Like it's just like, it is like what you guys are saying. It's just so constant that it's like, you have to just continue to like wake up from the dream, or continue to talk to yourself nicely, or continue to put pictures of like yourself as a baby around the room. Like it's almost like you have to put your shields up in like every sense of like your life in order to like protect yourself. Yeah.
Like seriously, you have to go. It's a constant battle, but the battle is against everyone who's like living in this like distorted dreamland. And then you have to go out there and be like, I can do it. Yeah. I'm gonna like fight against this and keep like reminding myself all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're smart, but like they're smarter, whatever they is, I don't know. It's like these demons coming into my brain, but like I feel like I have like a battlefield, you know, and like I have like my castle and like all my walls are around it, and I'm like, okay, I put my guards on that place, I put my guards over there, like okay, I put my baby picture of myself over there, I don't do negative self-talk over here, just so like nothing can kind of like penetrate like myself or like my castle or whatever. It's like you have to have so many layers of positive things that you do in your life to like even come close to like breaking the cycle.
It's like cushioning yourself.
Like, and also just, I think what I do is like, okay, this is a thought, I'm feeling it, and I'm just gonna let it pass. Like I'm not gonna act on it.
Right.
Like I am going to acknowledge that it's there, and then just like let it flow down the stream.
And that it's not real.
It's not real.
It's a story.
Yes.
I'm like telling myself a story of like, my face looks weird there. I like don't like the way I look. I'm not good enough, whatever it is. And then my mom will, you know, tell me, oh, you're like so beautiful. Or one of you guys will be like, you're so funny. Or you remind yourself, you know, other people tell you these things, but it's like, can you tell yourself those things? It's way harder to do that. But like looking in the mirror and then like picking out something that I do like about myself. Like, oh, my eye color looks nice today. Like whatever it is. And then just like appreciating what you have. Cause I mean, at the end of the day, it feels like a silly thing to complain about, but it really can sometimes feel like the biggest thing in the whole world, especially as women.
Because it's like your body, you're in it all the time. It's like your face, you're like looking at people. It's what you present.
I actually saw Lexi Lombard. She did a TikTok the other day, and she was like, these are 5 things I love about myself, like about my appearance. And I just thought that was so great because I feel like so much of my time is focused on things I hate about myself.
Yeah.
And I never think about what I actually do love about myself.
Like
there are
crazy.
things that I do love about
I'm trying
myself.
to like think of 5 for myself.
I
But
know.
I'm like,
Well, that's
It's
like,
hard, but it's a good practice.
that's really good.
you know, Olivia O'Brien.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok of her where she was like, I have a photo album of all of the things that she hates about herself. When she sees a photo, she screenshots it and zooms in on it.
No.
And then adds it to a photo album.
Are you serious?
And she's like the most gorgeous
She's like stunning.
girl. And it's just so interesting to me because I'm like, wow. So that's something that she shared.
Yeah.
Imagine how many other people that we look up to, we think are
Yeah.
like the ideal body type, the ideal face, whatever. They feel the same way.
Also,
Yeah.
like,
That's what's crazy to me.
Bella
You just
Hadid
can never
is
win.
probably like, oh my god, I don't love this about myself. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And she is like stunning, gorgeous, literally the
And
blueprint.
has had so much plastic surgery to
Yeah.
make herself
Yeah.
that, like, and she probably does.
They said
still
she
feel
has
that
like the
way.
most symmetrical
Yeah.
like face on the planet
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
and she's still insecure. So it's kind of, that's why I think I say like, I think of myself as a 40-year-old woman looking back on myself now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because and that is kind of just me like putting my hands up at my age now and being like, whatever, you know, like I can't. It's not really worth like feeling so bad about myself or feeling like so insecure or whatever, because I'm just like, literally I can't do anything about it. So like kind of whatever, this is me, take it or leave it. And like, that's maybe not like self-love like necessarily, but it's like,
It's a start, though,
kind of
to
as
just
close
like
as I can
accept.
get in this moment. I'm just like, whatever, it's me. And like, that's that. I don't know. That's like
this
how I
is
do
literally
it.
like
Yeah.
this is the body I have.
Yeah,
This is the
this
face
is
I was
it.
given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even when I look back to like a couple years ago, and there are like some photos where I literally could not look at them because I was like, I look so bad. And I look at those photos, I'm like, what was I thinking?
I know,
I look
I know.
great here. And it just makes me like think, why did I waste all that time hating
know.
myself?
That's another thing, though, too. It's like, okay, yes, it can be used for good, like in that case, but like looking back, like having access to like old photos
my
can
God.
also
It's so
just be like
toxic.
so freaking toxic. Because I'll
And
look
like
back.
times in your
yeah,
life,
you're
like
like,
not
oh,
even
I
like
was,
how you
looking
looked.
so much better here,
Yeah.
or like better, whatever that even means.
Yeah,
I know.
like literally, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
I
I'm
know.
I'm like so happy right now. I'm so content. I'm healthy. Like that's
Yeah.
the most important thing. I'm healthy. Have all my limbs. Like it's just, it really is like such a
But
silly
also
thing.
you just
Yeah.
like can never ever win. And like
No.
for me, it's like my biggest insecurity is probably like just my body, period. Like just like my general body.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm always in this mindset of like, okay, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. Like I'm
Yeah.
always wanting to lose weight. But like when I was my skinniest, which was like very fucking skinny, I was so insecure and I felt
Yeah.
so fat. So it's like you literally can never win.
or
Like
you think like, oh my God, if I was just like a couple pounds lighter and I like had abs, I would be happier.
I would be
Yeah.
happier,
But,
but
like,
I had that.
I did have
was,
that
and
too.
I wasn't
Like,
happy.
yeah, you were
I was less
happy.
happy. I was like
Yeah.
really actually sad. So like
You always think like once I get to this point, I'm gonna be happier.
exactly, and that's
it
why
never happens.
That's why I just like literally this is
Yeah.
all I have for my life. It's like whatever
Yeah.
because I can try to control it, and I have controlled it in the past, and I was so unhappy. So it's like, where do we go from here? We don't know. We just kind of have to like roll
Yeah.
with what we have and be as happy as we can. And
Yeah.
that's like just my mindset of like, this is me, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And
I'm
like
done.
living in the present
Yeah.
moment.
Exactly.
Just being like,
And like life is
Yeah.
like so short. You know, it's like it is
know.
so
It's
short.
so short.
And our youth is so short that it's like, why
Yeah.
am I fucking wasting it?
Yeah.
Worrying about like, oh my God, do my pants fit?
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, my friend's mom one day told us, she was like, this is the best that you're ever gonna look in your life.
Oh my God.
And that made me feel so bad because I was like, I feel so bad about myself. I feel so ugly. I feel like the worst that I've ever felt. If this is the best I'm gonna feel in my life, like it's just awful.
also
Yeah.
it's like, that's almost like a toxic thing to say too. Because like
yeah.
my mom says all the time kind of negative things about like aging and how
Yeah.
she hates like being old and all these things that it's like, I don't know, what if we were able to like think about, oh, you're gonna be like all these different versions of beautiful.
Yeah.
Like all throughout your life, it's like when you get to 40, you're gonna have like all this like wisdom in your eyes. Like you are gonna be.
I think being old is so beautiful.
I think it is too.
As a society, we are so ageist. It's like
it's insane.
You are your most beautiful at 20 years old, and like then you start getting ugly and wrinkles and like get all these things to like prevent aging. It's like that is not. Like, I would love to have wrinkles. It shows that I've lived a full life. It shows that I've like smiled and been in the sun. And I don't know. I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to age. And
because I even think like looking back at photos of myself, like when we were in college and thinking, oh, I love my body or whatever it is that I liked about myself. I like look at my face and I'm like, oh my gosh, my eyes. I'm like, she like she's so innocent. She hasn't experienced like the stuff that I've experienced now. I'm like, I'm different now. I have all this like wisdom. Even in 4 years. Yeah. You have like so much more wisdom. Like think about how wise, how many stories you're going to have, how many places your feet are going to have taken you when you're like 40, 50 years old. It's like, it's beautiful.
And it's like Pamela Anderson, like she still as beautiful as she was in like her 20s.
And she just needs more makeup.
Or even more beautiful because like she's like lived all these lives. Yeah. Doesn't matter what you look like. It's like what's inside.
I think that's like also it makes me just like feel I just like love seeing, and it's kind of a rare thing. I love just seeing older people like so happy and content with like their lives and themselves and like not trying to hide something, and like that also like is something that gives me like a little bit of hope, or like for some reason makes me feel better about myself, because I'm like there are people out there that just don't give a shit, you know, like they're old and they're beautiful and they're smart and they're happy. And like, I'm like, I just want to get there. Like, that's just where I'm like heading, you know?
Yeah. I know. And it's like, okay,
and that's it.
How can we be there now? Like we can try to like be there now and then like fight the noise of like our own selves. And then also like everything else. Cause it's just, it's like, is social media the problem? I don't know. Yeah. Is it just like the world we live in? I don't know what the direct problem is. I think it's a collection of
so many things.
It's kind of like, it's like as if you're walking down the New York streets and like all the people that are throwing up, like that's all like the negative thoughts. Literally. And you're just like, okay, I just got to keep walking forward and make sure to my destination. That's a great
analogy. I can't even see to throw up. I'm just looking straight.
Like, keep your eyes forward.
It's like, it's always going to be there, but you just got to keep going.
I know. So there's like people right there doing heroin.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep your eyes forward.
It's a crazy man talking.
But I also think it's just like, I think what helps me too is just like having friends like you guys, because it's like you guys are just like, you're real, you know, and it's like you're not trying to be something that you're not, and you're like always reminding me that I'm beautiful and I'm talented and I'm smart, and like I feel good around you. And when I'm around you guys, like I don't think about my body, I don't think about my face, I don't think about, unless like we're like going through photos or like something. We were just going through like blah 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 photos, but I don't like, I'm not insecure around you guys, and like it's very nice to be able to like have people that you can just take your guards down and not have to look like straight ahead, you know, you can just be like there with them, and just like I look at you and I'm like, you're the best, and I look at you and I'm like, you're literally the best, and like I know you look at me and you're like, you're the best. So it's just like us looking at each other in such positive lights, I think just shines like a big rainbow over us, you know.
It's so true. And I mean, God, like think about people that don't have that like around them, or they have like, you know, those friendships where it's like you feel like you're like competing against each other. Like that, I think that would be really hard. We are like so lucky that we have like a very healthy like friendship dynamic and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I mean, even like I feel like that's why I tended not to be friends with like other actors, because I do feel like there would always be that like underlying like maybe competition thing. Even if you like try to avoid it, I think it would be subconsciously like. You know? Yeah. It's nice that we all do different things.
No, it is really nice.
So nice. I always am like, and I think that is like, everybody's like, oh my God, you guys have ever like conflict? I'm like, no, because I think we're just like all in like our own lane, you know, like doing our own things, and we're all like supporting each other within those lanes. And I think there's like not any
women supporting women. Yeah. No, I think the important thing, like there's no real solution to this, but I think it's important to like, you're like, we're not alone. Like everyone feels this way, and everyone's going through it.
I also think it's good to talk about it, because you guys, I was like, this past week when I was like feeling this way, I was stewing in my bed by myself.
Yeah. You start to spiral.
You're looking up medical spas nearby.
We've all done it, girl.
We've all been
there. Okay, and then you're like, how much? And then you're like
$20,000.
Okay, that was me waking myself up from the dream, and I was like, I'm gonna call my mom. That's a good place to start because mother is gonna tell you that she loves you and that you're beautiful, like no matter what.
But and also, mothers can sometimes be like the hardest ones too.
Yeah, it depends on the mother that you have too. You know, But also, like then getting dinner with you guys and then just like telling you how I was feeling. Yeah. That feels so good to just like
feels so good.
Just saying something out loud.
Yeah,
even if it's
like off your shoulders, and it's like you think you're so alone, and then you're like, I'm not. You know, like I'm literally not. Also, like,
and once you speak it, it's just like.
It becomes less real. It's almost like you're like releasing it. It's like this like voice inside you that you just have to like let go.
Unleash.
That's how I felt. I was literally like, it's like you almost like vomit it out and then you're like, wait, that wasn't as like crazy as I was like making it up to be in my head.
Like, wait, everybody else is feeling this too? Okay.
Yeah. So I write in my journal, I'm like writing all my problems and then I write it down. I'm like, wait, this actually is not a big deal. Like, I'm over it.
Relax. Yeah. No, it's
at
so
the
true.
Like, but at the beginning of my journal entries, I'll be like, and at the end I'm like, well, anyway, okay. Thank you so much for like listening. Like that's it. Like I've solved it. Like,
do you guys like sign off from your journals?
No, I kind of just leave.
I'm
like, see you later.
That's a pretty intense sign off.
I guess I do kind of.
I say kind regards. No, just kidding. Warmly.
Sincerely.
Best.
I actually say X.
I like that.
Wait, do you
actually?
A little hug.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like I'm writing to my future self because if anyone were to read it, it's myself. So I'm like...
Yeah,
I don't know who I'm writing to, but it's not my future self.
Wait,
it's
really?
like some like mythnical like creature.
I don't know.
That works.
Yeah. I'm always like, well, it's today, and I'm like, and as you know, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, who knows? Who is that?
Wait, that's actually,
but it's
really
kind of crazy. It's like
yeah.
I feel like this is so off topic, but like I'm so used to that like mythical like whatever you or whatever because I have OCD, so it's like. In my head for OCD, it's like if I don't do this, blah 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 is like blank is gonna do this or
blah,
blank
blah,
blah blah blah. So I think I'm just like used to that like mysterious thing in my life of I don't know what it is or who it is, but like this like thing, like this orb.
It's like the controlling. It's like the all-knowing, controlling thing.
And I don't know if I
like a godlike figure.
Yeah, but in my OCD, it's not good. I don't want God there, you know. But kind of like a God figure because they could
like the
change
universe.
my life. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, I don't do this 4 times.
Yeah,
they're gonna do something bad, you know?
Right.
So I don't think that's who I'm writing to in my journal. I would hope not, but I'm used to having like that mysterious like presence in my life. So I think I put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we all probably have that in like some way. We're like,
maybe it's your inner thought. I don't know. Maybe it's like the voice in your head.
Because your future self, if you're writing to your future self, they would be all knowing.
Yeah,
that is true.
They'd have wisdom in those eyes.
They would know a lot more than you do at this moment. They're gonna be like, honey,
I wouldn't go there.
You're not gonna marry him.
You shouldn't go there.
You're gonna actually divorce him.
Like you're gonna get laid off from that job, so don't get too comfortable with that one.
Don't worry about that apartment because it's gonna get infested with cockroaches.
You know what? Don't even stress about wanting that. You know, don't. It's okay. You know, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah,
that is what's funny. Like stuff that you stress about, and then like thinking into the future, and then being like, wow, that's not gonna matter.
I wanted that apartment so badly, and then I couldn't wait to get the hell out of that fucking apartment.
Or you get a bad haircut.
Yeah.
In a year.
Oh my god, I know.
It's gonna be fine. Art bangs.
Not even the art bangs, but the art bangs were.
They were not a bad haircut. I stand by that.
I loved them for you. I was like,
and that's how I know these are my 2 besties. No, one time for Christmas, my mom got my sister and I a haircut from her hairdresser in like Berkeley. And my sister and I were so excited. We were like, oh my God, we are going to like eat this up. I was like, I'm going to get a little like bob. Like I just wanted a little bob. She literally gave me Kate plus 8. Like she gave me soccer mom Kate plus 8.
Like at an angle?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
I left. I cried.
Like a Karen haircut.
And my sister looked like a full-on mushroom. Like, I don't know how to... mushroom mixed with Hillary Clinton. Like, she just looked... I'll maybe insert a photo here, like send it to whatever. I'm not posting it online. But it'll be somewhere. My sister will literally kill me, but...
That's so
That
funny.
was probably the worst I've ever felt about myself. But I got over it.
Yes.
See? It grew out.
Doesn't matter.
It's just a funny memory now.
Yeah. It's a funny memory.
Well,
that was like very therapeutic.
I know.
I feel
Talk
better.
about getting it off your chest.
I know.
I really feel better.
I feel better too.
Good. I hope you guys feel better. You guys feel better?
Comment down below.
Yeah. Let us know.
We forgot to do a question.
It's okay. We'll do it next time.
Shit. Guys, send us a DM.
Yeah.
One thing that you love about yourself.
Please.
Yes.
How about that? We should post
like
like
that.
our
I'll
story.
post like a question.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that. I think that would like make everybody like feel so good about themselves.
I would love to hear the things. I love like hearing things people love about themselves too, because it reminds you of something.
Like, oh yeah. I never thought about that part of my body.
And it doesn't have to be like appearance based.
No.
It can be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we love you guys.
We love you.
Be kind
so
to yourself.
much.
Kisses.
Kisses.
Bye.